This is where I end my speech. But I can assure you that on the issue of Kashmir, whether it is Mian Sahab or President of Pakistan, Nasir Zardari, or Yusuf Raza Iqlani, or Asfan Yarwali, or any other leader, they are one. And they are committed to Kashmir's liberation, right of self-determination. And with Lord Nazir as chairman of your this parliamentary group, I have a lot of faith in him, and I know that we are going in the right direction, and inshallah soon we'll be nearer to something which could not be as good as solution of Kashmir issue, but I'm getting near to it, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Before I hand back to the chair, just a couple of points of summary. I think for me, as a third generation Kashmiri living in Britain, it's very, very important that we involved the nearly 1 million Kashmiri community in Britain to have a voice. And in that regard, I think a commitment has been given to Lord Ahmed by me and Nawaz Sharif, I remember, to involve Lord Ahmed in any dialogue with regards to Kashmir. I hope His Excellency would afford the same of the government in power, and we can have confidence that we will truly be involved as a Kashmiri people in any decision that's taken with regards to Kashmir. Before I hand back, I've been tasked with reading out a declaration to be adopted by this conference, so if you bear with me, it's quite long. There are some grammatical errors which I'm going to have to try and manage. Can I start by saying that this conference, the Kashmir conference, held here at the House of Lords under the auspice of the All-Parliamentary Group on Kashmir and the Nawai Waqf Group of Pakistan, declares under this conference titled Justice and Peace in Kashmir, it makes this unequivocal declaration that Kashmir Freedom Movement is an indigenous, genuine and legitimate struggle for the freedom of the people of Kashmir. It is a movement for the establishment of a democratic process through a democratic mechanism and framework. The international community stands committed to redeem the right of self-determination to the people of Jammu and Kashmir in a free and fair atmosphere by a democratic method of referendum plebiscite. It is unfortunate that Kashmir has so far remained victim of international double standards. The genocide that has been taking place in Kashmir under Indian occupation has not been comprehensively recognized, in spite of the urgency resolution on mass graves by the European Parliament. No institutional follow-up has been carried out by the United Nations and its Human Rights Council. We call upon it to bring to an immediate end to all human rights abuses, violations in Indian-occupied Kashmir, that the suspended peace process between India and Pakistan should be restarted as per Sharm el-Sheikh agreement between two Prime Ministers of India and Pakistan. The Kashmiris must also be made a part of these negotiations to ensure their wishes are respected and reflected in the settlement. In order to create the trust of the people of Jammu and Kashmir in these negotiations, all political detainees should be released and all draconian laws should be withdrawn forthwith. Human rights and humanitarian organizations should be allowed access on both sides of Kashmir. Kashmir-centric confidence-building measures like free movement of people in the disputed state should be initiated. A permanent settlement in accordance with the aspiration of the Kashmiri people will strengthen the forces of peace, tranquility and stability. And as such, it is also important to include Kashmir in the peace agenda of Afghanistan. Recognizing this dimension is important, and a special representative for brokering peace in Kashmir should be appointed by the United Nations. And to add to that, Lord Ahmed talked about this Aman Ki Aisha. I think the legitimacy and credibility of this would be brought into question if the Kashmiri people weren't involved. So it's very important they involve can I thank again Lord Ahmed and Nawaya Waqt, and in particular Asad Baksab, the unsung hero of this event, for making this conference a success. I'll hand back to the Chair for closing remarks. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. All I have to say is thank you to SN Iqbal Sahab, who's travelled all the way from Pakistan. I want to say thank you to our visitors from Brussels. I'm sorry you didn't have the opportunity to speak, but your presence is appreciated and appreciated. And everyone who's come from Nelson, Manchester, Birmingham, Reading, Slough, if I missed anybody, please forgive me. Thank you for coming. His Excellency, the High Commissioner, reminded us in 1995, and since then, he has always shown his commitment. And you know, when Sir Gerald Kaufman speaks, so I remember I was with Gerald in Gaza, and he was in Gaza. We were going through the Sinai Desert, and he was praising His Excellency Wajid Shamsul Hassan for the work that he has been doing here in London. So we all appreciate it. We appreciate all the work that everybody's done. I'm sorry we don't have any time now for questions. We've got to leave the room. But thank you so much. Safe journey back home, and thank you for attending.
Professional only I would like to raise one issue. I think you must also take up this issue, and which I would like to highlight in this conference, that Kashmir is not being just subjected to human rights violations, but India is starting giving a new dimension to conflict by restraining the waters of Kashmir to subjugate Pakistan and building illegal dams in Kashmir. And this dimension of the conflict makes it much more serious. And I think also we should also acknowledge the support and patronage of Mr. Majid Nizami personally, which he has given to Kashmir.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you. Safe journey home.